Is that the best you can do?
I had to ask.
Hey there, quirky folks. Today I'm going to point out one giant plot hole in Marvel's latest movie, a chink in its strongest plot armor. Eternals is a very expository entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love how visually stunning this film is, and how it had very well-developed characters throughout. Time and time again, the MCU manages to open up an entirely new sector in their vast narrative, and that's just amazing. The Eternals have taken the cosmic elaboration of the MCU to a whole new level. Let me make this clear right from the beginning. I don't stand with the critics who have berated this unique film for no real reason. The difference between the audience score and the critical score makes it clear that they've missed a mark over here.
I know, right?
But I am about to point out a possible mistake that Eternal seems to have made in its story. So stay tuned. They weren't supposed to interfere in human conflicts, but they did nudge the humans towards technological advancements so that they could evolve and grow in number. They couldn't interfere even when events like Hiroshima and Nagasaki happened, which killed over 100,000 people. Their whole philosophy is that things like war were a necessary part of human evolution, driving forward technological innovation. As Fastos said, conflict would lead to war, and war actually leads to advancement in life-saving technology and medicine. That would ultimately lead to great population growth and help the emergence. Looking at this from the perspective of Eternals, subtracting 100,000 people from the total population through war might be okay. That's because it would later be followed by peace, technological growth, and population growth. But they should have certainly aided in events that would destroy the planet. Their whole purpose was to bring the total population to the number required for the emergence. But if the planet would be destroyed, then how will their purpose be fulfilled? The 7,000 years they spent on Earth would have been a total waste of time. And that's why there are at least 6 events on Earth which needed the Eternals to interfere. I am not saying that they would have made their presence known in the smaller movies like Iron Man, Ant-Man, or Spider-Man Homecoming, or even in a film that is as big as the first Avengers. Neither of those events were a threat to the emergence, as they did not threaten the world population. Loki wanted to rule Midgard, not destroy it. Even the nuke that was fired at the city of Manhattan would have been a similar situation to Hiroshima, so the emergence would not have been threatened. Even Captain America the Winter Soldier, where Hydra targeted millions of people, would have fallen in the philosophy of war. So, it is understandable why the Eternals did not show up over there. But what I don't understand is why the Eternals did not arrive in Thor: The Dark World. I mean, the simple answer to this question is that the MCU had not introduced powerful beings like them back in 2013. But if you think about it from a narrative standpoint, Malekith wanted to plunge the 9 realms into an eternal darkness. And in Eternals, Arishem revealed that his goal was to prevent the universe from falling into darkness. That's why he designed ways to exchange energy between the Celestials and the life forms on several planets. But if Malekith wanted to spread eternal darkness across the 9 realms, then the Eternals certainly should have come to stop him. Kingo said that Thor used to follow him around when he was a child.
Are you serious?
That could have been a joke. Yes! But if Thor knew of the Eternals, then it surely would not have been a problem for them to reveal themselves in front of him. One might argue that all the Eternals did not know about their true purpose.
Isn't it?
They were still following the sacred orders of Arishem, but Ajak and Icarus definitely knew what their true purpose was. They knew it for centuries.
How long do we have?
7 days.
So at least Icarus could have flown in to stop Malekith. If Malekith would have been successful, then they surely would have failed their mission. So I guess we need a better explanation of why the Eternals didn't help here. And the same goes for Avengers: Age of Ultron. Ultron misunderstood the meaning of peace. To attain peace, he sought to destroy the entire planet with a meteorite of his own creation. He almost succeeded in the movie, and he definitely succeeded in the recent What If episode where he went on to destroy several other planets after annihilating Earth. Ultimately, he wreaked havoc on the entire universe and went on to do the same throughout the multiverse in order to attain true peace. So after watching Eternals, Age of Ultron, and What If, the question I want to ask is, where were these immortal synthetic beings during all these events? They clearly failed their purpose on Earth in What If. But Arishem said that he had sent several Eternals to other planets where he had planted celestial seeds. So, why is it that none of those Eternals united to fight Vision Ultron when he arrived on their planets? Planetary destruction has to count as a failure of their mission, and the Sokovian meteor that Ultron almost dropped on Earth would have achieved that. So, the Eternals certainly should have showed up over there. And I'm not saying that just Icarus and Ajak should have come in to help. Everyone should have come in, because they weren't just there to prevent Earth from the deviants. But as Phastos said, their mission was to make a peaceful, harmonious world. If that meteorite had hit the ground, then the Eternals certainly would have failed at that too. I'm sure that they could not have known for certain that the Avengers would save the day. I guess their definition of a peaceful, harmonious world was the same as Ultron's.
Shit.
Okay, next up, the Eternals should have helped in Doctor Strange. Dormammu is the ruler of the Dark Dimension. Using his supernatural power, he wanted to conquer every planet in the universe, and then the entire multiverse. If it wasn't for Strange's top bargaining skills, then Dormammu would have taken Earth entirely.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
And I'm sure that he would not have allowed the Emergents to destroy an entire planet that he had conquered and plunged into darkness. So, the Eternals should have stepped in to help Doctor Strange. But in their defense, none of them could have really known about his arrival. Or did they? I guess the future movies involving the Eternals should at least explain where they were during these particular planet-ending events. And they should also give us a better explanation of why they didn't help here and in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Like Arishem, Ego had planted his own seeds across planets in the universe.
And soon, it'll be everywhere, all across the universe.
Unlike other Celestials, he was to bring light to the universe in his own twisted way. You see, he wanted all the planets to be an extension of himself, remaking the universe in his own image. And when he began the expansion process, he would have consumed all planets, including Earth. So, the purpose of the emergence would have come to a halt yet again, as the entire populace would have perished. And the Eternals should have showed themselves here, because first of all, it was a celestial intervention. I guess there are no rules against that. And secondly, Cersei could have probably prevented the expansion, because she could have changed Ego's giant goo on a molecular level. She could have stopped the expansion on Earth quite easily, but I guess they probably didn't have time to react over here, just like the events of Doctor Strange. While all these events till now had other heroes to save the day, a massive plot hole was created when they didn't show up in Avengers Infinity War. Ajak herself said that Earth was very close to the emergence, and the snap from Thanos delayed that.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe.
He reduced Earth's population from almost 7.6 billion to roughly 3.8 billion. That's assuming that the population Earth in the MCU was similar to the real world. He took our planetary populace back to what it was in the early 1970s. I get that this could also fall into the same philosophy of war being followed by technological advancement and population growth. But why delay the emergence by 50 years or so when it could be achieved in just 1 or 2 years, if not less?
You're making me beat up grass.
So, the Eternals not showing up to help in Avengers Infinity War doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Actually, it's a plot hole on 2 fronts. In the comics, Thanos is an Eternal with a deviant syndrome. And here in the MCU, Star Fox, who is an Eternal, has been dubbed as the brother of Thanos. So, it would be safe to assume that Thanos is an Eternal even in the MCU. And he looks different because of that same deviant syndrome. So can't the Eternals intervene if it is an Eternal deviant hybrid wreaking havoc on Earth? I mean, they certainly should have. Their absence becomes even more senseless in Avengers Endgame. You see, in Infinity War, Thanos still wanted to save the universe.
When we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike.
He just went after half of the universal population, which actually delayed the emergence on several planets. But in Avengers Endgame, he was going for the full Monty. He was going to snatch the job of all the Celestials spread across the entire universe with just a snap. The purpose of the Celestials is to continuously create suns and galaxies in order to maintain life across the universe. But Thanos was going to annihilate the entire universe and create a new one of his own liking.
The stones you've collected for me, create a new one, teeming with life, that knows not what it has lost, but only what it has been given.
That new universe may or may not have had the Celestials in it. So, the purpose of Eternals would have failed on a much grander scale if Tony had not pulled off that shake it, don't pull it move he learned from his father.
Hi. Shake that, don't pull it. Yeah.
He stole the stones from Thanos, snapped his fingers, and changed Ajax's mind about the emergence.
The people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger.
In fact, I think that even Tiamat felt what Hulk and Tony did. That's probably why he helped Cersei in stopping his arrival. Okay, this is where I'd like to end this long video. Do you think that the absence of Eternals from these movies creates plot holes that need answering? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!